Sometimes, the most important messages in life come at unexpected moments. Right now, you're standing at a critical crossroads, and this is one of those moments where God is urgently trying to get your attention. Over the past 48 hours, God has been working to deliver this specific message to you. It's not random, it's from the Creator of the universe, crafted just for you and your situation. Think about it. In the last 2 days, have you felt an unusual sense of urgency? Have there been moments where you sensed that something important was trying to reach you, but distractions kept pulling you away? God has been trying to communicate with you, but the busyness of life, distractions, and even fear have blocked the way. Right now, God is asking you to pay attention to this message, which could have a huge impact on your life. The fact that it has taken 48 hours for this message to reach you is a sign of how crucial it is. Don't ignore it now. This message holds the key to your future and your destiny. If you turn away, you may miss out on something that God has been preparing for you, something that could change the course of your life. But if you listen and let this message sink into your heart, you will see that God has been working on something big, and you are at the center of it. You may wonder, why did it take so long for this message to reach me? The answer lies in the spiritual battle going on around you. Whenever God tries to send us an important message, distractions and confusion can block the way. The enemy doesn't want you to hear what God has to say because he knows it will strengthen and guide you in the right direction. For the past 48 hours, there has been a struggle over your attention and focus. God has been patiently working to break through the noise and distractions that have kept you from hearing Him. But now, in this moment, you have the opportunity to tune out the distractions and hear God's voice clearly. Think about the last 2 days. Have you felt overwhelmed, confused, or unsure of which direction to take? That's no coincidence. The enemy has been trying to cloud your mind and distance you from God. But God, in His love and patience, has been persistent. Even though it's taken 2 days for this message to reach you, God never gives up on us. No matter how far you feel from Him, He is always reaching out, calling you back. Now that you've received this message, God is warning you about a decision you are about to make. Whether you realize it or not, you're standing at a pivotal moment. The choice you're about to make will have lasting consequences, and God wants to protect you from making a mistake. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." You may have good intentions, but God knows the outcome of every decision, and He is asking you to reconsider. You might be asking yourself, what decision is this about? How do I know what God is warning me about? The answer lies in your heart. What have you been wrestling with lately? What decisions have been causing you anxiety or doubt? It could be about a relationship, career, finances, or even something that seems small or insignificant. Whatever it is, God is asking you to pause and seek His guidance before rushing into this decision. Sometimes, the decisions that feel the most urgent are the ones that require the most patience. The enemy wants to rush you into making a decision without thinking, but God's timing is perfect. He is asking you to step back, pray, and wait for His wisdom. If you ignore this message and make this decision without consulting God, the consequences could be serious. This isn't to scare you but to make you aware of what's at stake. God isn't a God of fear, but He is a God of truth. The enemy is trying to lead you into a trap, and while your decision might seem harmless or even beneficial, God sees the bigger picture. Proverbs 14:12 says, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death." This doesn't necessarily mean physical death, but it could mean the death of dreams, relationships, or opportunities. God is trying to protect you from these outcomes, but He can only do that if you listen to His warning. Ignoring God's voice is dangerous. When we choose to go our own way, we step outside of His protection. It's not that God stops loving us, but when we go against His will, we often face the natural consequences of our choices. God doesn't want that for you. He wants you to experience His full blessings, but that requires trusting Him. Here's the good news: even if you've made wrong decisions in the past, God's grace is always available to you. He is not a God of condemnation but of redemption. If you turn to Him now, He will redeem every mistake and poor decision you've made. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "In all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." No matter how far you've strayed, God can turn things around for your good if you trust Him now. This is why it's so important not to ignore this message. God is offering you a way out, a path to redemption, and a future filled with hope and purpose. But you must be willing to surrender your plans and trust in His. His grace is sufficient for you, no matter your past mistakes. So, what happens next if you choose to listen to this message and follow God's guidance? He will lead you into a future filled with peace, goodness, and provision. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This promise is for you. Trust in God's plan, and you will see His hand guiding you to the future He has prepared for you.